What's your biggest, non-sexual, fantasy? Go to sleep and wake up refreshed. Live in my own house/apartment, which may not be huge but is not cramped. My job may not be my dream job but it allows me to live relatively comfortably. I have friends who care about me. To love and be loved. I've got everything here except a lover. Nice bed and plenty of time to sleep, my own apartment, a job I enjoy that pays me well above what the average American makes, a few close friends who I can rely on. I still find myself yearning for something more and I often think about dropping it all to try and start over somewhere else, thinking that would make me happier. Then I remember that happiness doesn't come from what we have. It comes from within. Deciding to be proud of ourselves and who we are. Deciding that we are worth fighting for and then acting on it. You could achieve every single thing you mentioned and still be miserable. I suggest you take some baby steps to improve yourself. Maybe find a healthy diet that you enjoy so it's not a chore to follow it. Maybe start working out in a way you enjoy. Hiking, swimming, sports, etc. Maybe look for ways to volunteer your time and help the community. All I'm trying to say is that you are worth it. When you start believing that and acting on it, your goals will come naturally. You need to decide to be happy first though. Sometimes deciding to be happy just isn't possible, especially if you have a mental illness or multiple. I've tried all those things and more but I'm still miserable because of my afflictions. Yes, I go to therapy. Sometimes it just doesn't work that way. I'd absolutely love to be a magical warrior with mystical companions and familiars, a dragon, and living in a magical world with magical creatures. Biggest fantasy since 3rd grade. Lol. Sometimes I have this fantasy of packing up my things, getting in my car, and driving somewhere else and starting my life over. I did that. It was worth it. I barely keep in touch with my family because they are toxic and hateful. I got married, went back to school, got a really stable job. Totally worth it. It was a struggle at first but I am happy with my progress in new life. Edit, I was lucky in my situation. It isn't that grand of a story. I met someone I played games with online and moved from Arizona to Louisiana. He let me live with him. His mom, best human being in the world, did her best to hook me up with work. I ended up finding my own job in retail. Got married to above-mentioned man. As I worked in retail, I went to a community college. Got great grades. Had to stop for a bit to work. Worked at a horse racing track. Went back to school with help from a debate team scholarship. Graduated. Started working for the state. Well done for making that jump in life. I'm a maladaptive daydreamer so I've come with pretty much a whole universe in my head. There's a lot happening in it so I don't feel like writing it down here unless you actually want to know about it. Alright, so since this blew a decent bit I'll write as much as I can as simply as I can. Quick warning, I'm on mobile so formatting might be weird. The whole thing mostly revolves around one character, named Draco. He's from a race of elementals that live on a planet with 4 moons, one for each element: water, air, fire, earth. Each element has a special person called a Chaosser who is the most powerful person of each element. They have a combination of their main element and 2 more, both light and dark. When a Chaosser dies, all the remaining ones gain the element of the one that died. No more Chaossers are born until all 4 die. When one is left, they are insanely powerful as they possess all the elements and become the ultimate Chaosser. The main character in my stories, Draco, is the Air Chaosser. He becomes the ultimate Chaosser after wars between the various elements. They were fighting to try to get their Chaosser to be the ultimate Chaosser. Draco became the last air elemental in a battle against the water element. I never actually fleshed it out beyond that, and fled the planet. Many years later, and due to space-time being whack, he returns to the planet. It's only been a few decades for him. Elementals can live very long lives in my universe, but for the planet it's been centuries. The elementals have been taken over by some reptilian race, as over time they became less powerful. Draco, on the other hand, is extremely powerful, as thanks to how much time passed there, He outlived all the other Chaosers. At this point the elementals have all banded together and Draco leads them to try and take back over the planet. I haven't gotten past this part because I'm still trying to figure out where to go from here, and to figure out what the outcome will be. Either way, I do hope you all enjoyed reading this. Sorry if it's kinda messy, it's my first time actually writing this all out. Smile. Write a book. Get rich. Profit. I've always wanted to have a popular webcomic. I can make funny jokes, although not consistently, and I can draw to a reasonable standard, but I don't think I'm quite good enough to make stuff people would actually want to read. Still, if I lose too many shifts from the coronavirus outbreak, maybe I'll give it a crack and see what happens. Go for it. No webcomic is 100% zingers. Everyone has jokes that fall flat. And drawing ability doesn't matter much as long as your art is consistent. XKCD has gotten by with stick figures for years now. Consistently is a key factor. People want to be able to look at a webcomic and know what it is right away. Then they know what kind of humor to expect. Winning the lottery. Then building an average-sized or slightly above-average home but customized to how I want it, not like 65 bedrooms and 37 bathrooms. 3 to 4 bedrooms, a library, project room, kitchen with professional quality equipment. Green/solar powered, able to charge my Tesla Model 3. Traveling the world some, every so often, not like non-stop. This. And then being able to use trusts and get my nieces and nephew into college or trade school, whatever education they want to pursue. And try all the hobbies I've always wanted. Living in the Star Trek universe where there is no money and we all pursue what interests us. Food, shelter, healthcare and education are all free and we all try and get along. The whole planet. Total fantasy, but that's what I would love to have happen. I came here to say this and you beat me to it. But definitely pre-reboot era Star Trek, which went a little haywire in that regard. To be loved. When I'm in the shower I like to imagine what it would be like to be famous and interviewed by Oprah. Oprah would ask if I always thought I would be famous and I would answer that I would stand in my shower thinking if I was ever famous I would be interviewed by Oprah. I get stuck in this thought loop until the water turns cold. It's 40 minutes later and I haven't scrubbed myself yet. Same, but my interviewers alternate between Marc Maron and Terry Gross. Oh my god, I have that exact same problem when I shower, except I imagine having a conversation with someone, then telling them that I predicted we would have this conversation. Then I imagine telling them that I imagined telling them about thinking of the conversation in the shower, and how I imagine telling them about that. And then I get stuck in a loop until I snap out of it. Does this have a name? I guess just plain old daydreaming. I can travel back in time to when I was in like 2nd grade and try my life over again knowing what I know now. It always starts with me telling my parents to buy stock in Apple. Lol. You should also invest your $5 allowance in Bitcoin. I would travel back to 2011 when I was deployed and spending a lot of money on dumb shit, and instead take like $3,000 or $4,000 and buy Bitcoin. Sell in 2017 and I'm basically set for life. Lol. Sometime after the Bitcoin craze I was just thinking how I should have bought some earlier when I read about it on Reddit, and then on Reddit in some thread some users were talking about this coin called Ethereum. I just thought it was another coin among the thousands of other copycat coins that were trying to cash in on the crypto craze. At that time Ethereum was less than $30. In its high I think Ethereum reached around $1,000. I had a second chance but just thought Bitcoin was the only thing worth the risk. Mental stability. You smart, I hope you go to college. But then no more mental stability. Catch-22. 2 chicks at the same time. I'd love to have 2 freshly hatched chicks to gently snuggle and pet cause I just think they're so cute. I wanted the same, ended up with a big cock instead. Woke me up early every morning but I loved that rooster. Not gonna lie. They had us in the first half. AI rises in my lifetime. AI takes over the planet, sidelines humans and creates a sustainable, prosperous, technologically advanced utopia. AI miniaturizes into nanobots and meld with us, and we all become machine-human hybrids with billions of sentient nanobots coursing through our bloodstream, giving us essentially immortality and the ability to live in both digital and physical planes. We, now demigods with enormous power over our own biology, spread throughout the universe, terraforming planets and seeding them with life. 1 million years in the future, our galaxy is filled with dozens of civilizations and species, all evolved from Earth life, and I, long ago having abandoned physical bodies, live as an energy being tunneling through dimensions of time and space and watching over a group of planets as a caretaker god. And from time to time I meet up with some other energy caretaker goddesses, and we have massive that last 80 years inside stars. Have you considered writing that as a novel? I have, and I am. But many of these concepts are tropes in sci-fi right now, particularly the works of Peter Hamilton, Ian Banks, Alastair Reynolds, and Greg Egan. Leave a like and subscribe. Comment Dr. Doggo to stay healthy.